Have you ever stopped to think about how weird it is that we pay money to sit in a dark room and get absolutely terrified? It makes no sense, right? And yet, millions of us do it. So let's get into it. Let's uncover the surprising science behind why we actually love to be scared.
Picture this. You're in a movie theater. The lights are way down low. On the screen, a door is creaking open, so slowly. You just know something is about to happen, but there's no way you're looking away. Your heart is just hammering in your chest, your palms are sweaty, and a part of you is totally loving it.
So what is going on there? Why do we, as a species, actively seek out and, actually enjoy the feeling of being scared out of our wits? Well, the answer isn't just about good storytelling. It's actually buried deep in our own biology and psychology.
It all really kicks off with this idea called the safe-danger paradox. And this is the core conflict that's happening inside of you every single time you press play on a horror movie.
So when that monster finally leaps out on screen, there's a part of your brain, I'm talking about your ancient primal brain, that literally can't tell the difference between a movie and real life. It fires up the classic fight or flight response, the exact same survival instinct our ancestors had when they were face to face with a real predator.
And this is the paradox in a nutshell. You've got this internal battle going on. Your body is screaming, "Danger! Get out of here!" While your conscious, rational brain is just calmly saying, "Dude, chill, it's a movie, you're on your couch." And it's that incredible mix, a real physical fear response in a totally safe space, that gives us this powerful, exhilarating thrill.
But, that's really only part of the puzzle. To get why that thrill actually feels good, we need to look at the pretty amazing chemical cocktail our brain starts mixing up in these moments.
First up is adrenaline. Think of this as your body's built-in alarm system. The second the jump scare hits, a jolt of adrenaline puts you on high alert. It's getting you ready for some serious action. It's that raw, powerful feeling of pure survival mode.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Right after that huge adrenaline rush, once your brain processes that you're actually okay, it releases a wave of dopamine. Yep, that's the feel-good chemical. The exact same reward you get from winning a video game or eating an amazing piece of chocolate cake. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? A horror movie is basically a roller coaster. It's a completely controlled way to get that massive adrenaline spike, followed right away by that wave of relief, that dopamine reward, once you realize you've survived the scare.
So let's just walk through that cycle. First, you get the stimulus, the jump scare. Boom! Instantly, your body reacts with a flood of adrenaline. Then, your rational brain plays catch-up. The realization hits that you're perfectly safe. And then comes the reward, that really satisfying euphoric rush of dopamine. It is a perfect, repeatable loop of fear and pleasure.
Okay, but our love for horror isn't always a solo mission, right? There's this really fascinating social side to it, which brings us to the science of sharing a good scream with other people.
I mean, seriously, think about it. There's a reason we go to see scary movies in a packed theater, or why horror movie night with friends is a classic. It's not a coincidence. There's another chemical at play here. And the secret ingredient here is oxytocin. You've probably heard it called the cuddle hormone or the bonding hormone. Its whole job is to create feelings of trust and emotional connection with the people around you. So when we experience fear as a group, our brains release oxytocin. So when you and your friend both jump out of your seats at the exact same moment, your brains are literally syncing up. This means that horror movie on date night isn't just an excuse to cuddle up, it's actually strengthening your emotional bond on a chemical level. How cool is that?
Now, beyond all the brain chemistry, horror movies also serve a much deeper psychological purpose for us. They kind of act like a playground for our biggest, darkest fears.
Look, at our core, we are just ridiculously curious creatures. And horror gives us a totally acceptable and, more importantly, a safe way to explore the things that both fascinate and terrify us. Death, the unknown, the supernatural, all from a safe distance with zero real-world consequences. Psychologists have a fantastic term for this phenomenon. They call it benign masochism. And it's this idea that we can find pleasure in something that feels negative on the surface, precisely because we know, deep down, that it's completely harmless. It's the same reason some of us love ridiculously spicy food or listening to sad songs. Now, of course, we have to talk about the fact that not everybody loves horror movies. For some people, the experience isn't thrilling at all. It's just plain awful. And you guessed it, science has an explanation for that too. A lot of the time, it just comes down to your individual physiology. See, people who are high in a personality trait called sensation-seeking tend to crave intense new experiences, so they're pretty much the target audience for horror. But on the flip side, people with more sensitive stress systems might find that adrenaline rush to be genuinely overwhelming and not fun at all. It's not a matter of taste, it's about how you're wired.
So let's just pull it all together. The next time your heart is pounding during a scary movie, remember this incredible chemical cocktail that's at work. You've got adrenaline waking up your survival instincts, dopamine rewarding you for being brave, oxytocin connecting you to the people you're with, and your own natural curiosity is what got you there in the first place.
Ultimately, what this all tells us is that we don't watch horror movies simply for the sake of being scared. That fear, it's just the trigger for something much, much bigger. We watch it because that controlled dose of fear, that roller coaster of adrenaline and dopamine, shared with people we care about, it lights up our most primal systems, and it reminds us, in a really powerful way, what it feels like to be truly, vividly alive.
And that's really the big takeaway, isn't it? For some of us, it's a horror movie. For others, maybe it's a literal roller coaster or public speaking or traveling somewhere totally new. So it's worth asking yourself, what's your perfect dose of fear? What is it that makes you feel alive?